Yo, Priti.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Oh my God, what happened?
I just got to check it because I think we are live in the Facebook page, but I just don't know.
Oh, nice.
So we'll soon find out.
Okay, that's great. Gosh, what
Yeah,
a
we are.
Oh, great.
Yes. Yeah, we are live. We are actually live in the group.
That's great. My son is just making me a cup of tea now.
Tea? I don't think I got tea.
Extra.
The interesting thing is, are you landscape or portrait on yours?
Portrait. Do you want me to go landscape?
Try it. Go flip to landscape. See what changes.
Oh, what changes? I can see your face now. You've got just a face shot.
You changed your end.
I've changed it now to landscape.
Oh yeah, there you go. Look. Boom. I think we're all right now.
Oh, we're done.
So me and you will speak on this page, and then I've got the Facebook group up here to look at.
Okay, great. Well, we won't forget this one, will we?
It's not a bad time. It's only 12 minutes behind schedule.
Oh my gosh. That's so
How's
awkward.
your week been?
Sorry?
How's your week been?
Oh, it's been really good, actually. This week's been pretty good, I have to say. Yeah, it's been busy with work. But a lot of what I've learned with UFIT and personally, it's really helped me through some of the bumps I've had, I have to say. So
okay, we'll go through all that because I've got your questions. So let me get your questions and we'll get started.
Oh God, are they hard?
Not for you. Remember, you're an intelligent woman. They're probably hard for me.
See, I've not even had time to get nervous now, so that's good.
There you go. So, let me get the comments up on Facebook because there will be some things. Right, everyone can actually see us live on Facebook as well. So that's the bonus. So I've got 2 streams going, so we're all good. So, guys watching, obviously we have Priti, and Priti's journey is unique. She came to the studio on a challenge. She left the studio and then came back. And in my humble opinion, I think she came back at the right time. We never knew what was around the corner in terms of the future, but actually probably set you up for life challenges, right? In more ways than one. So, Priti, just tell people about yourself. Tell people about where you were pre-UFIT. Tell them where you were, or what your struggles were, what your life was like obviously UFIT in general, before the challenge.
Right. Okay. So before the challenge, and that was about a year ago that I first came to UFIT. Before then, I thought I was doing all right. I'd had a couple of years where health-wise I wasn't great. I'd been in and out of hospital. I'd had another major health scare as well. Again, I was slowly getting back on my feet, and then I had a car accident. I still do. I'm an inclusion manager at a school, so I deal with special needs, and work is a huge thing for me because that's always been the stability in my life. And I think in one respect, sometimes I think it's sort of taken over. So there are times where I think, oh God, I don't know what else to do. But anyway, that work has also been a real major support in my life, apart from my son as well, who keeps me going. But last year, like I say, I think the last straw was after having a couple of years in and out of hospital, slowly getting back on my feet and getting knocked back again, had the car accident. And one of the things about me is that I really like to be independent. I'm not one that likes to ask for help. So when I couldn't do things as quickly as I wanted to, when work wouldn't let me come to work in my best interest, I used to get really mardy. And like I say, it was the last straw when I stumbled upon, like I say, a Facebook advert, and it was YouFit. And the thing that caught my eye was, it wasn't actually the drop the dress size, it was something to do with muscle strengthening. And at that point, my arm I couldn't lift it. And it would hurt if I lifted, say, even a full pint bottle of carton of milk, shopping bags, my handbag. So when I came to use it, so when I came in for that first session, it was a real eye-opener. I thought, right, okay, drop a dress size. Now, the thing that crossed my mind was, oh gosh, everyone around me is going to say, oh, you're trying to lose weight and all of this, and you don't need to lose any. But the thing that surprised me the most, it wasn't just, right, you're going to exercise and you're going to diet. It was different type of induction. It was a lot to do with the nutrition. And when you held that session where you were going through all the different food and what you can eat, I just thought, oh, right, okay. So it wasn't really like a diet. It was just eating more healthy and being more aware. So once I stepped into that challenge, it was brilliant because that gave me another focus, doing my workouts, and it was more time for me as well. So where work was up here, it started to slowly go down, where I began to do things for me, and I saw a real change in the way that I felt. And also I remember my second week in, I think it was the second strength session that I came for, and my shoulder was really hurting. I said, no, I can't do this. So Sam came along with this big stick. And I was like, oh God. And he put it against my shoulder and told me to lean into the wall. So I was lying down, and he said, just breathe through it. And I'm not kidding. That pain was gone in like a minute. And
nice.
But what I know now, and I'll go into that in a moment, focusing on my breathing, now I know that is what it was. And that's not something that I actually thought about then. So once I did the drop a dress size, it was great. I'd lost, I can't actually remember how much, but I did lose quite a lot. And looking at my photos, I looked so much more lean as well. I was in a better frame of mind. But at that point, it came to the crunch, and I was thinking, I can't afford to join. And it really broke my heart to think, oh my God, I really, really want to stay. But for me, I couldn't justify spending that much money on myself, because I thought, oh God, I could buy my son this. We could go on holiday. We could do this. We could do that. So I went on my merry way. I remember Helen's parting words. She said, this is not the end. She goes, I know that you'll be back. And I was just like, nice. I really, really, really wish I could stay. So, a few months passed. I continued working, and I really tried to maintain some of the workouts that I was doing as part of the Met class at home. So I did for a while, but they started to sort of dwindle. And so it was a case of, oh, yeah, I'm a bit tired now. Oh, I'm not going to put as much effort into it. So it sort of started to drop off in a way. Eating wise, cooking wise, I was still very mindful of how much oil I was putting in my food, what I was eating, and because snacking was one of my main things. So I was slightly more mindful of that. But again, that started to slip around September, October time. I was feeling a bit crap again, basically. And I remember going to my dad's house, and it was actually my dad who said to me, look, Priti, he said, you just seemed better when you were at that place. And I said, which place? And he said, that gym place, that place that you used to go to. And I thought, right, okay. And I said, well, Dad, it's just a bit too expensive for me. That's what I thought. And I actually, at that point, thought, right, I could actually do it. I could. And I thought, you know what, forget it. I don't have any other vices. I don't smoke. I'm not a heavy drinker. I don't go out barring and clubbing and all of that. I thought, actually, I could do this. I might just have to tighten up somewhere else and da. So I actually came back. And, you know, it's the best thing that I did. As you said, Sam, from the beginning, it must have been a blessing, because I don't think I could have got through this lockdown without you fit.
Yeah.
And the thing that was different for me when I came back to you, I think it was just before Christmas, I actually, the thought did cross my mind, and I thought, right, this is different now to last time when I started. They're not talking about the weight loss and all of this. It was more about my routine and my mindset. And I thought, oh, this has changed a little bit. But now, once I joined the challenges and got into YouFit again, got back into the swing of things, and I started taking a little bit more time out. And the first challenge that I did with you guys, was it the YouFit in 20? That was it. That was just a kick in the right direction, because again, the first session that I had with you, the induction, when I came back, and you said, right, you know, time seems to be a big thing for you, your sleep routine, this. And I was thinking, no, I can't do this. I need to work till this time. I need to do this. And this is, you know, I was in a very set frame of mind. But when that challenge came out a couple of weeks later, after we'd had that induction, I thought, right, you know what, let me just jump into this. Let me see if this helps. And I'm not kidding. From the first day that I stepped in that challenge, it made a difference. I'd gone to bed early, and I'd made a conscious effort to go to bed early. I'd got up the next morning, listened to something positive, and it was just amazing, you know. And I had my team captain, Bally, and she was brilliant, you know, wealth of knowledge. And she suggested this book. It was The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. And that book was a game changer for me. That was it. It was absolutely brilliant. And like I say, I've not looked back since. And I realize now it's the mindset. It's not just about dropping the weight. You've got to drop the weight off your mind as well. And that's been really
you got to, the thing is, what we forget is that we preoccupy our, remember, if we think about it logically, we have probably on average 53,000 thoughts a day. Right, that's what roughly the studies suggest, right? Imagine if we actually had physically 53,000 thoughts, and we had to process each and every single one of them. You probably find we'll probably fry our brain. But the thing is as well, what we do, what happens to us naturally, we focus our attentions and intentions on a lot of things that either we perceive we can't control, right? And then obviously we waste time. But actually, when you have clarity of thought, clarity of focus, and actually naturally your behaviors will change. Because I actually remember that when you came in the office, because it was me, Sarah, and yourself in the office, right? And we spoke about your sleep routine and things like that. But again, the thing is, for example, a lot of people watching this will be in different places of the journey. And something just to remember for a lot of people, like some people can change quite rapidly. Some people take time. Like in Priti's case, for example, Priti will acknowledge that, for example, on the challenge, she changed quite a lot. And it's rightly so. A lot of people who do come to YouFit think, oh, you know what, I can keep this up, or the cost is a lot, or the investment is a lot, and things like that, which are all natural things. But actually, the majority of us, we just justify it. We create our justifications for things. Oh, we can't do that because of this. We can't do this because of that.
Yeah.
It's the same with a gym membership. Same with anything. Same with food. Same with a lot of things. But the thing is, for example, for you to go away and also experience what it's like to do it by yourself, because actually coming back, if you think about it logically, all you came back to was the accountability.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously then the challenge is what set it off. I think for a lot of people, the YouFit in 20 challenge was a springboard. And actually a lot of people who are watching this, who are members, if you actually really, all of you who are watching this, think back to when you did the YouFit in 20 and potentially think about how much you achieved, you'll probably realize it's accumulation of behaviors, because that's what it was.
Mm.
Right?
But I think also the impact, that initial investment on myself, it's not just had the impact on me, it's had a ripple effect on everybody else around me. That's the thing, you know. So it's not just investing in myself, I've invested in you know, in the people around me as well. Like my son, he's benefited from it, because he would actually think, right, okay, can I choose the podcast today? Yeah, all right then, you know. So we do it together. Nice. You know, so that has been really, really nice. And our mornings where I'm normally like, come on, get your bag and do this, let's, you know, screaming out the door sort of thing. It was really chilled. And my son saw a difference as well. So he's like, Mom, gosh, he goes, we've got so much time to relax before we run out the door sort of thing. You know, so it was real quality time. And that, like you say, it was just the best start for the day, you know. And also, like I say, it's been brilliant to have all of you guys, you know, the staff and the members who are so supportive, you know, through all of the ups and downs. And it's not just a case of, well, yeah, you know, you're a member now and that's it, and you leave and we're left to it. It was a case of, you really do care. You will really make sure that we are doing things that are in our best interest. And I know that from the last, you know, about a month ago, when my shoulder really was hurting and I found there was a tear in there, and you were like, no, you're not doing the Met Challenge. And I was on the phone, right, Sam, when can I join? When can I do the Met again? And you said, right, you know, I'll come in and let's have a chat. And again, it was yourself and Sarah, and you said, right, you can't do this. We're not going to let you do this, but we can put other things in place. Because for me, I just thought, oh my gosh, that's it. That's the end of it. That's the end of the world.
That was that, yeah, because I remember that, because obviously you had to come in here and sit down and talk to you about it, and because obviously bullet at the gate, you just wanted to do things, and obviously the actual reality, if you would have done it, probably caused more injury. But if you actually look at probably the adaptation you had to go through in your headspace, because I remember coming in sometimes doing a leg thing and then going on the bike, and you're like, oh, felt monotonous and stuff. But actually, remember, it's the whole what's that thing? Tortoise in the hare. Right, the tortoise wins the race, but guess what? It's a more scenic route, I suppose.
Yeah.
But actually, you benefit in the long term.
No, and I really, really have. You know, I mean, I think to myself, when I say things now, I think, gosh, I wouldn't have been saying that a year ago. I wouldn't have been talking like this, you know. And the patience that I have, and again, you know, being part of another challenge again, and having another great mentor, Isabel, she's brilliant. It's a real help. And I have to say that it's been such a supportive place, and I love it. It really has become part of, you know, how I think you did a Facebook Live, and that's, you know, another thing that you do, that you're constantly educating us all as well. And I've taken away a lot from that. You know, it's not just about, you know, it's about being more aware of your actions. It's not saying, right, you can't have this and you can't do this. As long as, like you say, you're aware, you know the consequence, you know what to do, you know. So I think it's been a lot of different things that I needed at the right time.
I've got if anyone wants to work on beliefs later on, I've got a Facebook Live. It'll be starting at 6. So if you want to understand beliefs, me and Helen have been reading this book, and we'll do the actual. I'll send you the actual the link to do it, and we will go through it together. It'd be quite cool. So you'll enjoy that.
Oh, that'd be good.
So let's get into some questions then, because we've got quite a few.
Oh, okay.
So you mentioned obviously the thing what drawed you in was obviously get stronger, right? Because it's interesting. Remember, everyone wants different things. Would you say now you're stronger mentally and physically? And also, for example, you've naturally lost weight over the course of it, but it wasn't your main center of attention. What's your journey been like in that sense? Do you know how much you've lost, or inches you've lost and stuff like that, or not?
You know, I was supposed to have a look actually at the certificate that I got when I did the drop of dress size. However, I was looking at some reflection, and at this time last year, I think I was 58.1 kilos, and I don't mind sharing it now that I'm about 47.4. But it's not about the weight, but inches wise, I know that I'm definitely much more lean. Inches wise, I've lost. You know, I can't actually tell you right now. I can't. But the thing is, for me, again, it's not just about the inches lost. It was definitely mentally, because if I am realistic and absolutely honest, I didn't really like myself very much then, a year ago. The confidence levels, the self-esteem, and it's probably something that I never ever let on. But I'm quite now confident to say, because if I look back then, yes, subconsciously it might have been that I wanted to lose weight, but because of all the things that I'd been through, I didn't realize emotionally how affected I had been emotionally. So, you know, the fact that I can actually talk about things now tells me a lot about my mental headspace. But like I say, weight wise, and, you know, I mean, when I have my one-to-one coaching, I know it's not just the weight, but the inches. I know that I've lost definitely an awful lot. I mean, right now, like I said, I couldn't tell you how many.
That's okay.
I know that I have.
But the main thing is,
a hell of a lot.
I like what you just mentioned. I like what you just mentioned about, for example, talking about where you were. Because remember, for a lot of people, when you're in that time, not many people talk about how they feel, right? Self-esteem, self-confidence, how they feel in general. No one really talks about that, right? But it's good because remember, weight loss is a catalyst to feeling better, but it's not an end result, right? Because obviously the end result has to continue to move, or the journey has to continue to move. So in essence, your journey is just continue to move, Miranda, through all the obstacles right now, right? So the journey continues to be exceptional in that sense, because you keep pushing back. What would you say, for example, has been your proudest moment so far on your journey?
My proudest moment. I've had an awful lot of proud moments, but I have to say, yeah, I'm proud of feeling, you know, health-wise, I'm proud that I am where I am, and weight-wise, I have to say where I am. But the most proudest moments I have to when I think about is, if I think about it carefully, is with regards to meditation. When you guys mentioned meditation to me initially, I was thinking, oh, right, I'm not one of these people that does things like that. I can't sit still. Oh gosh, here we go, sort of thing. And that's my honest thought on it when you first mentioned it. However, again, part of the challenge, I started dabbling in it, and I thought, let me give it a go. And it was all about breath work and all of this. And I did try it, and it did make me feel calm. However, I didn't realize how much my body, or how much I was actually connecting with it, until there was a time that I was really, 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 really frustrated with myself, because I'm one of these people that want to get everything done. Like on the weekend, by Friday, everything has to be cleaned. So on the Saturday morning, I can get up. I don't have to do any housework. Now, Friday, I was going to see my partner, and I was late as always. But that day I thought, I'm going to be on time. I know I'm going to be on time. But I was so frustrated with myself, and I was in the most awful mood. And I thought, God, I'm going to be taken out on him when I get there. I know it, the slightest thing. But for some reason, the thing that came into my head was start breathing. Focus on your breathing. Breathe through it. And I am not kidding. That was the day where I thought, hang on a minute, there is some power in this. Because by the time I got there, I'd sorted myself out, you know, I'd calmed down, you know, and I did do some reading after that. But for me, I think it's a personal proud for me. And again, I've come such a long way, because I've found something that works for me, and that's guided meditation for me, because I'm still, you know, learning and all that sort of stuff. And I really do love it. And again, last week I had a day where I just thought, oh my, I was so annoyed. And that situation would have stayed with me for a few days. However, that next morning, I knew that I had to meditate. And once I'd done that, I'd sort of let go.
That's the beautiful thing with meditation. What people don't really realize is, the thing is, it's because of majority of it's because of where its origins from. So we look at it and just go, oh, that can't be for me. That ain't right. But what people are starting to realize is that, for example, if you think about anxiety, depression, feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed, for example, if you look at the physiology of it, a lot of it naturally is when our breathing's faster, our heart's beating faster, right? If you take all scenarios to some degree, but actually, if you do the opposite and help to reverse that, i.e., being still, i.e., breathing, i.e., allowing your thoughts to come and go without any attachment to the emotion. Then that's when you're winning the most, because obviously breathing, there's an app called I don't know if you use the app called State.
Sorry, you're frozen.
Have you,
So,
you heard the app Priti called State?
no, I haven't. I used Headspace and Calm for a bit.
Yeah, so if you download an app called State,
Okay.
right, if you love the breathing element, you'll love State, because State basically challenges you to breathe and hold your breath and stuff like that, and it actually gets you more efficient, right? If you wanted to go one step further, Priti, on the breathing side, and that side, it's cold showers,
Oh God.
right? And the reason being is because a cold shower emits the same stress response as any other stress. So imagine if I put you in a cubicle, put the cold shower on, you go, right? That darkness, for example.
Yeah.
If you have a cold shower and you can start to relax with the cold, then your stress responses in general life will be a lot lower. So there you go.
Right.
That's your next challenge, right?
I'll do that on a hot day.
Do it on any day, right? But going back to your thing about meditation, meditation is great, but again, like anything, unfortunately, in life, especially all the best things in life, they require patience and perseverance. Like, I believe in meditation. Like, look, just like yourself, I didn't believe in it a year ago. I'm like, what do I need it for? But like, for example, even my meditation at the minute has been off and on, but it's something that you got to keep going with. You got to keep persistent with, because ultimately, for example, if you just quit it, you're just going to go, it don't work.
Yeah. No, you're right. But like I say, for me, I found something that worked, and that was, like I say, the guided meditation. So it's a range of things. So, it's visualizing, it's the breath work and all of that. So it really has helped me in so many ways. And that to me is, I'm really proud that I've found something that works for me. And I know, and I can measure it against things. I mean, times where I haven't used it in situations, or against times when I've done it, and I know that my day has been so much better.
I think what you mentioned as well about obviously not carrying it. So obviously when you went to see your partner, for example, you're feeling stressed, instead of carrying it into that moment and ruining that quality time together and stuff, but you actually took ownership of how you felt, and then you decided to do something with it, rather than taking that feeling and projecting onto someone else to make yourself feel better. That's a massive win as well.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. So, no, absolutely. And he'll vouch for that too.
I bet he will as well.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is the number one obstacle you've faced in your journey?
The number one obstacle, I would have to say, on my journey, I would probably say snacks, because they were a big thing. As part of this now part of the nutrition thing, snacking. Oh gosh, when I was at work and changing my whole eating lifestyle. I mean, I look back now and I think, gosh, why didn't I do that earlier? I'm eating so much better and so much healthier and so much more actually than what I was eating then. Whereas I thought, having cereal for breakfast, a couple of biscuits at about 10:30, 11 with my coffee, skipping lunch or having cereal again, binging a little bit here and then before dinner, and then having a salad and some fish or what have you would be fine. But no, now I think about it, I think actually all of those extra calories compared to what you're doing now is just, it's ridiculous. I mean, that was hard for me to change, because working in a school, there are always temptations, there are always things in the staff room, but it was learning to say, well, actually, I don't need it. The 5-second rule really helped me, just count and walk away, and thinking, well, actually, I know that day is going to be a tough day. I know I'm going to have a really nice treat that day, on this day, and things like that. But to be honest, what used to be an obstacle, actually, it's nothing now. Now it's sort of like, I think, well, I'm doing so much better. I'm eating an awful lot, and I look forward to my meals. Whereas I remember, again, one of the things I said to you, I said, I'm bored with food when I came in. So that was one of my obstacles, changing the way that I eat. But now when I reflect, I'm eating so much better now. So
I think what you mentioned, obviously a couple of things really. Obviously the Mel Robbins thing seemed to work for you quite quite a lot, right? Because a lot of people probably watching this snack, and obviously remember, a lot of people eat because they feel they want to eat or they should eat, right? But using the 5-second rule, it's true though. When you distract yourself or count to 5, I use it in terms of getting out of bed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up, right?
Yeah.
And using it as a distraction, using it as a mechanism to allow you then to walk away is a fantastic tool. But going back to what you mentioned, obviously, typically you find a lot of people who are on a journey of weight loss or to feel better. The number one thing I hear is, I'm bored of food. So naturally, when you're bored of food, it's just natural, right? It's natural human tendency to want something more pleasurable.
Yeah.
But if you think of a lot of things that we perceive as pleasurable, it will be junk food, biscuits, cake, chocolate, right? McDonald's, for example, for ironically most of the public. But actually, going back to when you really look at it, if you look at it truly as truly source, it means that, for example, you've stopped exploring cooking.
Yeah.
Right. One of the biggest things I'm seeing of late, for example, is the newer generation of children, i.e. 20, 22, 23, their ability to cook has diminished, right? Because of fast food, because of takeaways, because of healthy food. But it's healthy, but it's just easy available, right? But the thing is, to lose the art of cooking.
And again, that's
going
to... Sorry?
You your son how to cook?
Oh gosh, yeah, he made me a 3-course meal a few weeks ago, so he's loving it. He made some of the Cajun chicken wraps. He made a cheesecake, I think, dessert for starters. What did he make? Oh, he made fresh garlic bread from scratch with the dough and everything.
But anyway, if anyone's watching, there's your man.
There you go. He's 13. Yeah,
we could always preempt it in the future.
Oh, that's it. Well, yeah.
13, trust me, 13 years old doing a 3-course meal, mate. I think he needs a high five for that.
Bless him. After that, he did say, you know what, my legs are really hurting. And he goes, I said, do you want to do that again next week? When no, not just yet. So, yeah. So he's due to do it at the end of the month, but he actually wants to try Heather's KFC, because I made that a few weeks ago, and that turned out brilliant. Oh my word, it was better. He actually said it was better than the real thing, but he wants to now make that. So again, that exploration, and again, it just takes a bit of idea bouncing. And again, that's another thing that you guys do, really inspire all of us, and through it's been such a difficult...
I don't think we all inspire. I think it's just Heather. Heather's just
with the food. No, but the thing is, a lot of people share their recipes, don't they, on is it Foodie Thursday and things like that. So it's all good, and it really, and to put it this way, we've not even since the takeaways and things like that have opened, it's not really appealed to us, and going back to my cereal and all that I had my first bowl of cereal after 6 months, and that was last week.
Which cereal was it? Cocoa Pops?
Crunchy Nut Cornflakes.
Oh, look at that. That's a lovely one.
I know. I wanted to mix it up with Cheerios and everything, because it was my first bowl, but I thought, no, I won't. I'll just stick to Crunchy Nut.
It's interesting, because I had an urge last week. I said, today, I fancy a bag of cheese and onion crisps. So she orders the shopping, right? And it comes like a 16 bag of cheese and onion crisps. I'm like, mate, I only wanted one bag.
But do you find when it's that, mind you, I've got my mum and dad, when they popped over because they'd done some shopping close by, and she said, oh, I saw all these biscuits. She goes, oh, there you go. And I was like, why did you bring all these biscuits, like Galaxy cookies and chocolate digestives and ginger? But the thing with me now, I'm like, if they're not open, I won't be bothered about them. The minute they're open, I'll think, right, I want one, but I don't bother opening them until I think, well, okay, I'm not going to have people over for a while. But yeah, so that's the other thing about that whole mindset. It's about tricking your mind as well, that I've learned. And that might just sound really silly, but it really helps. So yeah.
Of course, it also, what you got to appreciate, for example, people watching this just think, oh, it's a breeze, but it's not, is it? You have to continue to challenge that every day. Like every day, if you see a chocolate bag of biscuits or anything, you still have to challenge yourself. It's not as easy to go, I don't want it. You still consciously have to go, I don't want that, or walk away from that. You still have to use the 5-second rule, because it's not simple. Like even for me, like if there's food available, I have to just walk away or go, I don't want it, or distract myself, or leave the house, or drink more water, for example. I think health, the thing is with health, in all aspects, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, for example, it just requires persistence and effort. And it is to some degree, it is a daily grind.
And the thing is, the worst thing is, I chucked away a slice of chocolate fudge cake.
Did you?
I had to chuck it away. It was my next door neighbor's birthday. Well, no, it was our anniversary. So I made them a chocolate fudge cake. So she gave a quarter of it to us. So I had a bit, and then there was some left. And I thought, no, because I knew I didn't want it because I felt bloated as it was. I thought, right, okay, well, indulge a little bit the night before, it's splurge night anyway. But I thought, no, I'm not going to. And I thought, you know what, forget it. And I chucked it. Before I could even think about it, it was in the bin. And I thought, well, there's no going back now.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Going back to the word the strong word you used earlier, which was justification. We can do that. If people really sat down and actually looked at their thoughts and justifications. Oh, I can't chuck that in the bin. Oh, it's a waste. It's money down the drain. But actually, in reality, you got to ask yourself which one's more perceived benefits: eating the chocolate cake or actually feeling better.
Yeah.
Right? Which is a lot of people get confused with.
Yeah.
Number one for you.
Okay.
What Isabel's got a nice one for you.
Oh, no.
What do you find the hardest thing to be consistent with?
Oh, the hardest thing to be consistent with. I would have to say, still sort of not putting work first. And I found that although, like I say, I'm really passionate about what I do, I just find sometimes that creeps in. And I know over the last couple of weeks with, it's been really busy and we're all in the same boat and things like that. But I found that I have to make sure that I don't switch my laptop on earlier than I should. Because with me, I have my work emails come onto my phone and everything. So the minute they come on, like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm thinking, no, you know what? You were just about to do your meditation. Yeah. Do that first. And that's the thing that I find really hard. So being consistent with my time and my routine. And then because it just means that I know that there have been days where I think, okay, well, I'll do my meditation later. It's okay. I'll just start working early. I'll finish earlier, which never happens. And I'll do my meditation in the evening when I've given my son his social time on PlayStation with his friends and things like that. And it doesn't happen because you always find things to do. And the thing with me is I don't have my cutoff points sometimes with work, thinking, right, I'm going to work. This is it. I'm working this many, from 8:15 till 12. I'm going to take a break. I can't do that. I'll just think, right, I'm going to keep working until I've done it. And sometimes I'll stop for a bit, cook, eat, and get back on my laptop. And there have been days where I've worked till, still about 10:30, 11. And I think, right, I'm getting ahead of myself. When in actual fact, something else crops up the next day. So I think, well, actually, I've not had any let up. So I think consistency has been my routine. I have let slip, but with it, I know that I can do it now because I have been doing it. Yeah. So although it slips, I know that I do find it hard to be consistent with it at the moment. But however, I know that I can get back on it if I let that bit go. If I let the work bit, if I'm more disciplined to say, right, actually, no, you know what, just switch off. It's not going to be the end of the world.
I think something you mentioned there, for a lot of people I've spoken to in the last probably week, a lot of people are, in essence, it's really bizarre. A lot of employees are getting more work out of people.
Yeah, seriously, I find myself more busy than I was when I was at work.
Yeah, and it's really bizarre because what's happening is instead of so some people who I've spoken to used to have like an hour's travel. It's really bizarre that the hour's travel is traded for work, and it's like well, you had an hour's travel. So if you want to work in that hour's travel, then have an hour less, 2 hours off later in the day, right? But a bit like you said, a lot of people are not. And then, for example, what happens is, it's really logical, right? If you think about it logically, if you end up working more, you end up stressed. If you end up working more, you end up overwhelmed. If you end up working more, you end up building more anxiety. You don't actually win. If you're not very disciplined, you don't actually win at that game. and you get to the weekend and you're like, I'm shattered now, right? And then you need I need recovery, I need reward. I've worked hard all week. But actually, in reality, just going back to what you said, I think the word that people need to start using is not discipline, it's self-respect.
Yes.
Because actually, if you self-respect yourself and actually start to understand that, for example, being more productive in work, actually, you're going to be more productive in work if you look after yourself more, right? Because if you don't look after yourself, you're going to get more stress, more anxiety, more overwhelmed, then actually end up not doing as much work as you need to do. So therefore, you end up working more hours. And that's the bit where a lot of people are doing it. So for yourself, for example, one of the biggest things I'd say is continue to get a handle on it before it gets a handle on you, because it's very easy to get a handle on you without allow it to go right.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, I think a lot of people would definitely struggle with that.
Yeah. However,
so
I was just going to say, however, if this would have been a year ago or even before Christmas, it would have got a handle on me big time. However, now I'm more aware. But the thing is, the beauty is I've also got the support of my team. I've got the support of Isabel, my one-to-one coach. I've got all of you guys. I've got other members, who are going through the same thing, who are really on that. And Isabel, she's just a wealth of knowledge, like I say, and she's really great with her posts and things, and they really start getting you to think about things. But like I say, if I would have been in a completely different place if this was just a few months ago, definitely. I'm like I say, I know that I've come a long way, and I can, if it slips for a few days, I'll know, and I'll think, right, forget this. I don't want to feel like this. I know what I need to do.
Yeah. My coach says to me, you have to wake up unstoppable every day.
That's what you had on this morning when we were trying to get the Facebook working. Well done.
Yeah, he says you have to wake up unstoppable. You have to wake up unstoppable every day. So get in the game.
Great.
Okay. Another question. What makes you feel happy and content?
Happy and content. Gosh, I would have to say, well, spending quality time with my son now, and being more present, I would have to say now. That, again, a few months ago, I'd been like, whatever. But if I look back now, spending that quality time with my son, where I've got my phone there and I'm still on my phone and looking at things or thinking about something else or still doing other things while spending that time with him, that wasn't actually quality. I wasn't actually there. Physically I might have been, but mentally, no. So what makes me happy and content is when I've spent that actual quality time with him, where I've been present, and he knows it. Whereas, before he'd say, oh, Mom, but you're doing this and you're doing that as well at the same time. What did I just say? But now that makes me feel content, that I know that I'm giving that quality time to myself and my son. And a typical day would be when I have actually done that homeschooling, how I'm supposed to do it, where I've set him an awful lot of work. I've got on with mine. I've stopped when I'm supposed to. We've made a nice UFit style meal, and I've done everything that I want. My non-negotiables to the day are working out, meditation, and obviously cooking a healthy meal, sort of thing. So they are my non-negotiables, and when they're done, as with everything else that I'm wanting to do, that for me is happy and content.
I think the interesting thing, what you hit nail on the head, is it'd be interesting. Not to say I would like you to actually go back in time, but it'd be interesting to see if the Priti before UFit ever, even the challenge, and then considering where we are as an economy, it'd be interesting to see what your behaviors would have been like, i.e. what would your son would have seen, or what would you have shown him, or how would you have handled the situation from a stress response? Because actually, in reality, if you take it, this is something for you just to think about yourself, right? Because I think when you start to think about how you were to how you are now and how you're handling it, you're probably giving your son the right amount of guidance to get through this mental challenge for children massively, but also come out on the other side of this pretty okay. But that'll be down to you, because you've got to lead from the front.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like you say, it's quite interesting that you say that I know that going back in time, obviously I'm not going to be able to do that, but again, through meditation, you know, when you think about when there are sessions where you're going back in time and really thinking about, right, what if this, that, and the other, and I do actually think about that, because I remember at the beginning of the lockdown, which was hard for everybody, the working from home, you know, creating a new routine and things like that. I'd done it for myself, which was I was still finding it difficult. But then I stopped and I thought, oh my gosh, I was 2 weeks in. And I thought, he's not had any conversation with anybody for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, you know, I was having meetings, I was doing this, I was doing that. And I was like, right, you know, just get on. He was blessed in making his own lunch and all that. And I had to stop. And I thought, actually, no, this can't happen. You know, I've got to now think, hang on a minute, this is the way I'm going to work. This is what works for me. If it's not, if someone doesn't like it, it's tough. You know, I have got to think about my son. And that was my first, because the thing for me is, if I fail at that, forget it.
I think that's the same attitude I have. Like, if my daughter goes through life and ends up with body dysmorphia or thinks she's fat, then there's no point in you fit at all.
It's strange, yeah. That's the thing. That's what I think. Everything that it's, you know, you have that big focus, although you have to focus on yourself. For me, that is my life project.
Good.
You know, and if that messes up, there was just no point in anything for me. That's how I feel. And that's why I, you know, in 2 weeks later, I just changed the way I work, my mindset, everything. And I thought, no, it revolves a lot around him as well. And that's why I thought, gosh, I've got to give him some social output as well. So, you know, he has his times where he plays with his friends online, you know. So we both then, in effect, we're both getting that free time in a way. So I'll have time to just sit and read and, you know, have a coffee, or, you know, do FaceTime and connect with people that I want to and things like that. So it's worked out so much better. But like I say, would I have done that? Would I have had that awareness? I would definitely have had some awareness, but I think I would have been a lot more grumpy. He would have seen a much more grumpy side of me, because I'd be thinking, well, I need to get this done and you need to just do this, you know, whereas I'm so much more chilled out now. If it works. And the thing is, like I say, with the support, the challenge that we're doing as well, and when, you know, speaking to Sarah on a one-to-one every week as well, I think, well, you know, we're working through things, and there's always going to be things that you need to tweak. It's not going to be plain sailing all of the time, but as long as you're aware and you know, hang on a minute, I can feel something drifting, or I can feel myself feeling like this. That is, I think, one of the key things as well, being more aware and connected to what you are thinking and your emotions as well, and doing something about them.
Good. See, pay dividends now.
I know.
That investment's worth 10 times the investment now.
Absolutely. No.
I'm putting the gym prices up when we get back.
Damn. No, I won't blame you if you do.
Not to you lot. Not to you lot. To everyone else.
No, seriously, you know, I have to say, it's not just the gym. That's the thing. And, you know, actually, my friend Mira, who was a member of Youth, still is. I remember her telling us about this gym, and we were like, flipping out, she's paying that much for a gym. You know, I was thinking, my God. And she actually didn't go into too much detail, because I think at that point she was probably thinking, I can't really explain it. And that's the position that I'm in. I can't explain it, except if you've known me for a certain amount of time, have been close to me, you will know the difference in me from then to now.
It's a bit like your dad, right? So your dad knew the difference in a short space, like 6 week period. He's like, wow, in a 6 week period. And then fast forward a couple of months and then going, to be honest, you was a different one.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's like, wow, that is my own dad noticed it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and the thing is, for him to say, because he's one of these people, like probably a lot of parents would be like, no, you know, save your money, save this and all this sort of stuff, you know. You don't spend it on all this. This is how we saved back in the day. But for him to say that that's my dad ringing me, by the way, now. Hang on a minute. So good.
I
know. for him to say that to me was like a big thing, because my dad and I are very close, and he tends to pick up on the things that I try and hide. Let's say, you know, things that I don't want people to see. He'll know there's something up. He'll know there's something playing on my mind, and he'll just pick up on something. But like I say, he's very intuitive like that, wise man, my dad. So yeah, when he picked up on that, I'd be like, no, there's definitely some truth in that. Not that I need the justification to spend my money or anything like that, but it's just a case of, well, actually, I'm doing this. And whereas I was thinking, no, I'm saving for my son, I want to do this. In actual fact, I wasn't really doing anything. I wasn't doing anything that would benefit him in the long run. You know, if I think about it now, it's just such a tiny bit to invest.
Yeah.
Into something that's, you know, long term. You know, like you say, it's paying off. I'm seeing the fruit. Yes, there's still a journey to go, but the amount that I've changed in a space of, I had that 6-week period last year, but the mindset wise, just before Christmas, and it really only started from January, it's just amazing. I think, gosh, how I'm talking like this. Well, I feel really wise.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? It's obviously it's looking at that, and you're absolutely right. A lot of people. The interesting thing is, a lot of people, even people to this day, ask me what the difference is. And the thing is, I can say personally, the only simple word to say, it's just the higher level of accountability. That's the only word I could probably explain it as. And actually, you're not a number. But the thing is, that's really, it's not a unique selling point, really, because a lot of other people would say the same thing to some degree. But it's not until you're actually part of it, you start to realize, or people start to say you're part of a cult, or and obviously you're being tricked, you're being but actually in reality it's just hard to explain. And I think, like you said, like Mira, it's like a lot of clients when they refer friends, they give snippets, but they don't tell them the full story. Typically what I hear all the time is, just go. If you go and speak to Sam, you'll understand, and that's it. Go and speak to Sam, you'll understand. And when they come through the door, obviously like you said, it's just a different experience altogether, right? From the moment you walk in to obviously you're sitting down. So,
but not just that, it's a completely different feel. But I didn't feel that, to be honest. Yes, it was different to any gym that I'd known, but I felt that when I walked out after that 6 weeks, and I felt, oh gosh, I'm leaving something that's really important to me behind. That's really had an impact, and that's the thing. And I could not wait to make that appointment again. Instead, I was like, oh, come on, don't you have an appointment tomorrow? You know, and that's when
I'll leave waiting. No, I ain't got no appointment.
Yeah, you know, so that's when I actually knew, like you say, you know, you don't know what you have until it's gone, in a way.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
But sometimes, like I said, sometimes you just need someone to, it's really bizarre, isn't it? Like you said, sometimes we just need a justification in ourselves. We know we should do something, but for you, for example, to be fair, it's your dad. Your dad just hit the nail in the coffin, right? And that just sealed the deal for you. And sometimes for a lot of people, it requires that. And good on him.
I know. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I was mulling with the idea anyway. Should I go back? But like you say, that was the nail in the coffin. And also, I think the other thing, and one of the things that you've said a few times, is you've got to be ready as well to make that change. Because if I was the thing is, the great thing about you guys is there's no never ever has there been pressure, because you trust what you have and what you do. You know, there's never been like, right, okay, you know, do this, and you must join. And there's no like, right, the pressure of joining, even in that 6 weeks, right, you know, here's the deals. Do you want to? If you don't, then, you know, it's not that you care any less, but you trust in your service and the things that you do. And it goes beyond the service, because you guys are there around the clock. I used to think, do they even sleep? You know, they're checking up on you about 24 hours a day.
Someone said that to me yesterday. They said, like, oh, Sam, does everyone so asleep? Because they're just constantly moving. And I'm like, I'm assuming so. They still have time off on that, but it just perceives they're around the clock, right? Yeah. But again, I think it's really bizarre. I had this conversation with Rakesh, my partner, or is my financial guy, yesterday, and we were talking about the uniqueness of the team. And he said, it's interesting, Sam, it's took you three and a half years to actually find a team that's all on the same cause. I think to some degree, lockdowns obviously allowed everyone to express their own skill sets and a lot more, which is a good thing, right? And I think that's the biggest thing. I think all of us are on the same page, from Bav to Sarah to Heather to Helen, and then to me. So it's actually incredible. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're all there. That's the thing. And again, if I go back to my one-to-one sessions with you guys and with Sarah, it's a case of she really listened, and it's not she won't it really is coaching, and it's guiding you through that thought process. So you've got the answers, it's just finding them, and they're helping you along with that. Of
course, everyone's got the answers though, and that's the irony. The thing is, I believe everyone knows how to lose weight, right? It's what the challenge is though, is the roadblocks that stop them losing weight. But unfortunately, for example, I could give everyone a meal plan and go follow this course, and everyone can lose weight. I can give everyone, I can make the food, for example, for most people and say, eat this, you lose weight. But the thing is, it never leads to long-term success, because ultimately all your roadblocks, you put them in place yourself. So unless you get coached how to overcome a roadblock, knock that roadblock down, find another roadblock, then you're never going to move forward. But that's coming from persistence, right? Because guess what? Every journey is not an easy one. I was speaking to Rakesh yesterday. To some degree, it's interesting. I fell into that place where, like, why me? Why me? Why is this? Why is this? Right? And it's interesting. Rakesh is one of them guys who's got a lot of. Everyone. There's some clients what used to see him all the time on the front desk, and it's quite a wise guy. But again, he reminds you, right, about challenges and difficulties, and actually this is part and parcel of growth, along with my coach. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I was last year. It was like, oh gosh, all of this is just happening to me. Why me? Why me? It was just one thing after another for however long. But now it's a case of, well, actually, I needed those challenges to get me to where I am now.
Yeah.
If I hadn't, then I don't know. I may not be in this place. But I know now that I'm ready for, well, I'd like to think that I'm ready for any type of challenge, because I'm hoping that I'd be able to work through them, drawing on experiences that I have, talking to people, around me. And again, I know, being such a supportive team, you guys and all the members, and that, there's just the amount of experience and wisdom and knowledge that is there. It's just amazing.
That's it. I'm the only male though.
Yeah, all right, Sam.
I like it. Basically, I just like having a women's team, basically.
Yeah.
It's cool, because the beautiful thing, like I said, I think all of us offer something unique. If one of us ain't got an answer, some of us got a different perspective. Some of it. Remember, the interesting thing is, as a team collectively, we've all got every single person's best interest at heart.
Yeah.
So all of us will have a take on something. But the thing is, there's no right or wrong answer with it. It's just everyone's got an opinion on someone's challenges, but actually we're all heading in the right direction. We all want you to move one step forward, which is a beautiful thing. So, but
yeah, I mean, one of the other things I have to say is the only time that I've been able to be really honest and actually talk about some of the things that I've actually even put on my posts and things, I surprised myself thinking, oh my God, you've never really talked about those sorts of things. But I felt that honesty has obviously come with a bit, the courage that I've had since beginning with YouFit, but also that's been the thing, that's been the aspect that's probably helped me progress the most, that honesty, and other people, other members being able to look on it from an outsider's point of view and help me through it. Well, actually, if you flip it like this, this is what happened there, or this is what you could try, or read this, or that be able to point you in the right direction of listening to something or reading something, or talking to someone with experience in who's been through a similar experience and things like that. So I think honesty is has been a key for me as well, to open up.
Yeah, it's that opening up. When you open up, it takes time. So a lot of people watch this, don't think it happens overnight, but it takes time. As you start to peel back the layers, you start to really understand yourself. When you really start to get to the root cause or root understanding of yourself, you actually progress far faster than you ever progressed in your life. But that's a credit to yourself, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, again, there's no way I think I would have been working out as much as I do. And one of my fears and one of my greatest worries was, and I spoke to Sarah about this before the lockdown, I thought, oh God, how am I going to stay away from snacks? How am I going to stay away from those biscuits? You know, it's just going to be there all of the time. But I have to say, 80 to 90% I've been pretty good. You know, and I have really, really surprised myself. I mean, Sarah's had to tell me to take a day off from working out. You know, she's had to say.
That's a good thing to coach. The thing is, remember, it's like anything, right? You can keep pushing, but you're probably pushing too hard in one direction. Actually, you need to realign. The funny thing is, Isabel, if she's watching, if you had me and Isabel on an actual one-to-one, it's like it's like how can I describe it? It's intense, right? But I wouldn't have it any other way, really. But the thing is, I told her to rest on, and actually resting is one of the things, right? But sometimes a lot of us, when we feel like we rest, I'm the worst for it as well. That's the irony when it comes to work, is when you feel like you rest, you feel like you're failing, or you're not getting ahead, or you just for me personally, I don't feel whole. So if I'm not working, I don't feel whole, and that's something, again, it's something I'm working on myself. But you're definitely right. Taking breaks actually allow you to reinvigorate yourself and actually come back twice as strong. So it's a good thing.
No, definitely, because I've actually been taking I was just going to say, I've been taking a break for the last 3 weeks, once a week, and it really has helped. So yeah, it just helps you recharge.
Right. Does anyone have any questions on Facebook? If anyone's got any questions on Facebook, then let me know, because I've got my phone in front of me and I can actually see it all. And then one final question for you, Priti, from me.
Oh no.
Oh no. It's a good one for you.
Okay.
You probably never thought about it yet.
Oh gosh.
In 5 years' time.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 5 years' time, where do you want to be?
Well, realistically, now let me just put all the other images in my head aside. If I think about 5 years ago, where I wanted to be, I didn't have a clue.
Okay.
And where I am now, I think, wow, you know, I'm in a place that I had never thought that I would be. But all I can say is just to be a better version of myself and just keep progressing. I just want to be a better version of myself. And I just think that's the only thing that I can say, because if I say I absolutely want to be here, there's no flexibility. I need to have that flexibility. I want to be happy. I want to be close to retiring would be great. And I just want to be proud of wherever I am, in a happy place, content with what I have, grateful, and actually grateful in the sense of not materialistic things.
Cool.
Grateful for everything that I have, my health. Hopefully I am healthy then as well. You know, my son's healthy, and just grateful for those things that we don't really think about as deeply as I have started to think about, you know, more so in this time of lockdown. And I think, you know, if you realize that you're grateful for everything that you have, that is the only way that you'll continue to receive more. And so I'm just hoping that I'll be in a place where I have everything that makes my son happy and healthy. And I'm
sure you will.
And I have to make sure, and this is one of the things I always say to myself, I'm not behind, I'm not ahead, I'm just exactly where I am supposed to be.
Good. In January 2021, when I think it was whatever day you filled out your 2020 form.
Oh yes.
In a year. Don't you worry, miss, because that'll be straight to your email box and you'll be able to acknowledge.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'll definitely have more knowledge. I'll be so much more wise. I'll be like Isabel and Bally and you guys, you know, words of wise words everywhere. You never know. I might have my own Facebook page of meditation and podcasts and all sorts. No.
Just me. I look forward to that. That'd be even better. It'd be like a tag team trio. I think all the members would just create their own next.
Well, the thing is, but that's down to you guys. Again, you know, you empower us. You have given.
I don't want to take my job.
Well, actually, we've got a different group going for that.
That's it. I think everyone's trying to take the mantelpieces from us lot.
No, but see, the thing is, it's like you're letting us all go. You're letting us all fly the nest in a way, but keeping us together. And that's why it truly has that family feel, because you're not worried. That's the thing. And you don't have any need to be worried, because you know what you have and you know what you do, and you trust in what you do, and you trust in the members that you have. And, you know, like I say, I'm so glad that I'm back with YouFit.
The word what you just said, yeah, it's interesting. Rakesh said the same thing yesterday. So yeah, you know, we all know what we got.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Definitely.
Right, Miss, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yes.
Right, we got through the difficulties of technology.
We're unstoppable.
Yeah, unstoppable. Put the hat back on. Right, and we got through it. So, Miss, I'm sure this is what you're going to find is I'm going to boost this post to the whole of Leicester. So you're going to see a lot of people get to know you.
Oh, great. Oh, it's a good job.
Enjoy.
I have to put my makeup on.
Yes.
See ya.
So, same here, foundation.
Nice look.
Look after yourself, boss.
Will do. Thanks for listening.
Peace out.
Bye. Bye.